Hello everyone, I'm Smart Manager. Today we're going to learn about integration services and how to set it up on our local system. So let's get started. First of all, integration services is basically an high-level API interface that we get to interact with decentralized identities, which is IOTA identity, and data streams, which is IOTA streams libraries. If you're not aware of what identity and IOTA streams are, feel free to just navigate into these sections and learn more about them, about how they work, what exactly are they, and then probably you can come back here for the setup. There are 4 different types of setup that we have at this point. We can use the Node.js setup. If you're more aware of Java, then feel free to use Java. For production, it's always recommended to use Kubernetes. You don't have to worry about resource allocation and other infra stuff. Or you can use Docker Compose to test locally as well as on production on probably your staging server somewhere. For now, we'll just get started with using Node.js. So for this, you need a couple of things. Your Node.js version needs to be 15 or greater. What we have is 16, so we are good to go. You need to have Docker and Docker Compose installed. Right now, I'm using Docker for desktop, Docker desktop for Mac. I'm on version 4.191 apparently. There's tips. I've cleaned it up so that we can see a fresh installation of everything going forward. And you need Git to set up the repository. The repository is at ledger/integration services. So if you do just download it, clone it into your local system using HTTPS, SSH, or GitHub CLI, whichever you're more comfortable in, or GitHub desktop and download the zip. Preferably something with terminal access, so that because we have to run a lot of terminal commands. So once you have the repository, just go inside your root folder, and then you have to run this command. So let's just copy that. We are already inside the root folder, and hopefully to the time that I had last build, there is no other. Oh, there are some updates apparently. Okay, I'll just stash my local changes and I'll just do another pull very quickly. Okay, lots of updates apparently. All right, that is always good. That's why it's always important to keep your repository updated. Never know what new setup is coming up. The next thing you have to do is run the MongoDB. MongoDB is a type of database. If you're not aware of what MongoDB is, feel free to read more about it. I opened the other link. It's a NoSQL DB, so it's quite fast for testing purposes and a lot of production use cases depending on your use case. So feel free to dig deeper into that. Right now, we'll be running it using Docker Compose. So make sure that you have Docker up and running. Before we run that command, let me just see that no other container is running at this point, and then we'll just run this. The first time you run it, it will pull the image into your local system, and then it will run the container corresponding to that image. So don't worry if a lot of these things are happening. This will take a little bit of time depending on what size the image is. If it's at the point that you're pulling it, and the version and internet connection. And it says that, okay, it has started and it has created network integration services by default is created. Our integration, this data container is created, and our container Mongo has started. You can also verify by going to this one, and here inside integration services, you will see that Mongo latest is running. We also have some volume allocated to it at this point, which also you can check out. And we'll also see that there is an image Mongo, which has been added here. So we are good to go. Mongo is running. The next step is to set up our RSI bridge. So we're now moving into running particular APIs, right? So let's go inside API/SSI bridge, and here we are. Now, once we are here, sorry, we have to first run npm install. Of course, make sure that you have 15.3 or above, 15.6 or above installed in your local system. Now, once you have that, you have to do is, sorry, npm runs setup API. That's the word. So this will try to connect with your MongoDB. So it's very important to have your MongoDB up and running by the time you reach this step. Before that, you can do things in parallel, but this requires the MongoDB to be up and running. All right, so it says that this we're going to do MongoDB database is really seeded as well, setting root identity and verify if root identity already exists. All right, so let's just give it a couple of more seconds. Add so ID as trusted root and generate key collection. It's doing a bunch of stuff. It's setting up our key pair, and it's setting up our DID and with stronghold and everything. So we can just get going as soon as possible. Now, once you have done that, just do npm run start, and this should run a port as specified. If you want to really know what is happening under the hood, just give it a couple of seconds again to run. All right, so it says that, and yeah, it's running on the port 3001, and it's following my IOTA DID. This is the DID generated. If you want to learn more about what exactly is happening under the hood, you can always, go inside here, go inside package.json, and just go into start, and you'll see that npm run build start. So what it's really doing is so you can actually read through the code and figure out what exactly is happening, which all services are running with this. And now we can see that, okay, this is running. So let's just try to go to this, and it says that it cannot get because that particular port. Okay, we can go to info, and we can go /info, and we're getting something, right? Or you can just run a curl, and it should give it. Now, obviously, don't stop this and run your command, because then it won't really. So let me just switch this as well, because we'll be using that. And let's just run, and we're getting some form of output. So we have a server up and running, right? This is the commit hash is not found, but our version is running, and we have an ID, and the version that we are running is 0.1. All right. Now we have to move to the folder API audit trail, and that is all that you need to set up the Rsi bridge. By the way, you are all done. Next thing we'll do is quickly set up audit trail gateway. So let's just try to move out of this, and we'll see that there is another audit trail gateway here. So we'll get inside it, and we'll do pretty much the same set of steps here. You have to run npm install, which is done. Then we'll run setup API, and this should again take a couple of seconds, and then it should be up and running. So let's give it that couple of seconds. All right, and yeah, this is also connected to the same MongoDB instance that we have run, and our database successfully seeded as well. So let's get started with our service, which is the audit trail gateway service. So we'll just run that, and let's see. This will again do a couple of similar stuff what we were doing there, and this is running on port. It's supposed to run on port 3002/info, so we can obviously see that. All right, so what we'll do is we'll just open another terminal right below that. Again, we'll just move into 16. All right, my default is a different version, so I just want to not have to do that all the time. You can, if you have installed, if you're doing a fresh install on your system, you might have already 16 or something. All right, so we have this one up and running, and we obviously have our previous one also up and running. So we have both these services up and running right now. So that is all that you need to do to get your audit trail gateway and Rsi bridge set up. In the next one, we'll see about the next step towards using integration services and setting up some more stuff. Joining, and have a nice day. Cheers.